When the Standard Oil tycoon Henry Flagler arrived in 1893, he called the area a veritable paradise. His vision founded the city of West Palm Beach to house all the servants working in its 2 fancy hotels on the resort island of Palm Beach. In November 1893, he went about setting up the city, naming all the streets for native plants. By March 1894, the Flagler, Florida East Coast Railway reached West Palm Beach going all the way to Miami. When the train came, a rush of enterprising young men created retail empires. It soon became a town with many storefronts on Clematis Street and Narcissus Street. Banyan Street became well known for its saloons lining both sides of the street. On November 5, 1894, 78 people passed a motion to create the township of West Palm Beach inside its first jail and police station located on Clematis Street. It soon became obvious that West Palm Beach was a thriving city in its own right, not just to service the resorts.
West Palm Beach has changed quite a bit. It's changed because downtown we used to have stores like McCrory, Montgomery, Burdine, and Walgreen, all down the strip that we used to have May's grocery store. And on the corner of 3rd and Rosemary, we had Carl Robinson's store. And what's that, Banyan now, they had the city jail. The jail was for black people. And coming on down, we had the photo. The first news was called the Florida News, I think. And it changed from Mr. Bodie, and it changed from that to the Photo News. And I think at one area it was Florida Photo News.
Tambourine Avenue was probably selected as a place for this business in that it was a dirt road, and perhaps a progressive dirt road, to the point that it found itself as a perhaps major throughway or thoroughfare through this community. And my father started this business in '47. At that time, it wasn't perhaps that many cars or traffic, but it was in walking distance for most of the people in the community. And it has now gone from that to a major highway to now a trickle because of the traffic that comes through this particular area.
And I always believe if you didn't have a past, you don't have a present. And if you don't have a present time, you don't have a future. Anything we do right now, we are building the bridge from past to the future. And any building we design without having a respect for the past and without remembering how it's going to be used down the road, I don't think you can build the right building for the people.
The city of West Palm Beach has changed in many ways. First off, it was called the town of West Palm Beach, and now it's called the city of West Palm Beach. And when it was first established, it was only just a few blocks for the city. And then later on, it has grown to be many, many square miles. And not only that, the population was very small back in 1894, maybe about 1,000 people. But now we've got over 90,000 people that live in the city of West Palm Beach.
When I was a teenager, life was very, very segregated. Palm Beach, you weren't allowed to go over there unless you worked for someone over there. And now it is different. You can go over there at the Breakers. You wouldn't even know where the Breakers was. But now you can go there and be a part of the scene. From Banyan to 23rd Street, blacks owned all of the businesses there. Banyan was actually First Street. Some of the streets have changed from when I was growing up.
Important because if we don't collect people's stories about where they lived and how they lived, in the future people won't know about us and the people who came before us.
And we ended up on Clematis after the hurricane in 1928 that wiped out South Florida. And during the Great Depression, and Lake Worth wasn't developing the way that my great-grandfather had hoped. So he moved the whole family up to West Palm Beach, house and everything, and opened a store right now on the corner, where it started off on the corner of Clematis and Olive on the southeast corner. And then building, after being there for about 10, 12 years, a building on 210 Clematis opened up. We moved the store there. And the store actually started out with wood floors, plank wood floors with dirt underneath where you could see the dirt.
From 1920 to 1927, the local population quadrupled. Everything grew, including businesses, schools, and churches. October 27, 1923, the first synagogue was built, called Temple Israel. Carl Keller opened the first theater called the Bayou on Clematis Street, which in 1924 became the Kettler Theater. Cracker Johnson, a leading black citizen, opened a building where upstairs was a rooming house and downstairs was a pool hall. The hurricane of 1928 changed the shape and rising growth of this new city. The town would survive but not expand again until after World War II. Wartime in West Palm Beach, 1941 through 1945, changed the landscape of the city. The military took over, bringing in soldiers from other states and German prisoners to work in the fields. Many after the war returned to make West Palm Beach home. The second growth boom started in the 1950s. By late 60s and early 70s, the city had changed from a small downtown center town to a full metropolis. When Interstate 95 was built, West Palm Beach was going to be changed forever. Full integration of area schools came in the fall of 1970, when Palm Beach High and Roosevelt High combined to become Twin Lakes High School.
It was, I had no problems going through that race segregation or integration. It was just a part of me, because I made up my mind that whatever happened, I would go through with it, and no problem.
I've seen Tamarind Avenue change from what seemingly was a progressive avenue with businesses to now what is perhaps a trickle of businesses, in that it's been cut down as far as the traffic is concerned, to a perspective now that there's only a few cars come through because it's been changed from a 4-lane highway to a 2-lane highway, and that cuts down on the revenue coming into the area.
Okay, there's been a lot of changes. First of all, we have a lot more diversity, diverse people and of all cultures here. Unlike it was, 50 years ago or 25 years ago, we have a lot more women, we have a lot more officers, African American, all ethnicities, Latino officers, so that's different. And another way that the police department has changed is that we operate with a lot of new technology, unlike we did before. Now we have basically everything is automated, and it's really awesome, from the way we write reports and to the way we dispatch calls to police officers.
It's like people call West Palm Beach is like a paradise on earth, because I think we have a God-given gift of beautiful weather and beautiful beach. But also, I think what's really unique about West Palm Beach is the people. I think West Palm Beach is a very diversified community. We have all different people living in here, but with the same goal. And seems to me always bright, always happy, and have a, not as long as a history of like 1,000 years, but still we have a lot of history. And seems to me people around here is really belong to here. And they love where we are at, and we like to share what we like.
A city without a history is no city at all.